This is a continuation. This is part 2 of Excel 2010 in the Go book, Chapter 3, Project 3B. We are on page 398, Activity 3.14. Click cell C14, which is right here. And now we're going to do something that's really common in spreadsheets, and that is we want to find a percentage increase of a number. So the number I want in this cell is to be 8% more than this. Okay. Well, it's easy to calculate 8% of that number. Just do equals that number times 8%. And 8% of 100,000 would be 8,000, and 8% of 52,000 would be about 4,000. So 8,000 and 4,000 should be about 12,000, which is what we get here. So it's calculating the number correctly, but what I want is I don't just want the increase. I want to know what the new population is going to be. So what I also have to do is I have to add on the previous year's population, or the previous decade's population, which is, let me see, this number right here. So hit the enter key. And now I get, let's format that like this one. And actually the easy way to do that is to use the format painter. So here's our paint. Click on the brush. We're dipping the brush into this paint, and now we're going to paint this. So we get 164,296. Now, I made a little mistake when I did that formula, and the mistake I made was if I copy the formula over here like this, you'll see what the problem is. It's not computing any increase from here on out. It's just taking the previous number. And if I double click on these, you'll see why. I'm missing the 8%. Here I get the 8%, but when I slide over, I keep on missing the 8% by a little more every time. That's because I failed to use an absolute cell reference here when I referred to B11, which is where the rate is. So I need to put the dollar signs in there. You can either type them in, $B, $11, or you can hit function key F4. And it will put the dollar signs in for you, and then you can hit the enter key. And now I've got the correct formula there. And now if I copy this one across, now let's double click, and you see the green one always points back to the 8%, even though the blue one is always moving one more to the right. And if we compare that with page 399, picture on page 399, it looks exactly the same. Okay, now we're going to go to page 400 and activity 3.15, and we're going to do what if questions using the paste special option. And it says leave row 15 blank, go to row 16 and type growth estimates. Press enter, and I want to copy the format from A9 to A16. So that's this one. That's my paint. Dip the brush in the paint, and then paint the new stuff. Select the range from A11 to B11. A11 to B11 is right here. Right click, and I want to choose a fill color here, and it says we want white background, darker 15%. Right there. Okay. And now that I know what color that is, I'm going to click on this, control click on this, control click, and since I know what color they're using, now I can go up here and I can click on that, and it's going to be the last color that I clicked on, and now they all look the same. Okay, now let's go to number 3 on page 400. It says leave row 17 blank, and then we're going to go to row 18 and type the following row titles. Select the range from B13 to F13. Wait a second. B13. I'm sorry, right here to F13. And copy. And we're going to go down to B18 down here. And we're going to right click. And we're going to do paste. And now it says select and copy the range B14, which is be these numbers right here. So do a copy, and we want to go to B19, and it says we want to paste them in. Okay, so I get the same numbers down there. Click on C19, which is right here, and take a look at the formula, which is B19. Actually, let's just double click on it so it's real easy to see. And it's going to take the 8% here, and it's going to multiply it by this number and then add that number on. So it's doing that correctly. And it says we don't want the formula there, we want the calculated values. So we're going to do an undo. And here's what we're going to do this time. We're going to select this again, we're going to right click, and we're going to do copy just like we did before. Now when we get here, we're going to right click and we're going to do a paste, but I don't want the formulas, I just want the numbers. So there's an option to just paste the values. If I click on paste values here, I get the values, and this is what they look like. Notice they're using general formatting now because I pasted the values, so the formatting did not come along. I'm going to undo that one though, and we're going to try it again. Select it again, right click and do a copy, and then go down here and we're going to right click and check the paste options here. We got ordinary paste, we got paste values, formulas, okay, and this is the only one that works. We're stuck with the formatting, but if we take this stuff right here and we go to our format painter and then drag it over this stuff down here, then we've got the numbers looking like they do up there on row 14. And now we are on page 402, number 11. Click cell B11, which is right here. And they want us to type 11 in there. And these numbers recalculate. And they want us to copy these, so we're going to right click and do a copy, and then we do right click and we're going to paste the values. And then we're going to change it to a 14%, hit enter, and we're going to select these, and we're going to do a copy. And we'll go down here, we're going to do paste. Now let's click on the paste button up here. And you see we've got more options for paste values here. These didn't all show up when we did a right click. We can paste the values. We can paste the values in the number formatting. Or we can use the source formatting. And we want their source formatting, so click on that. And down here, I didn't do that, but there's an easy way to fix it. Go to the Format Painter, click and drag across this, and now everything looks good. So now our worksheet should look exactly like it does at the bottom of page 402. And that's about 10 minutes, so this is a good place to stop, and we will continue on page 403, activity 3.16 on the next video.